Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular council meeting of the Weyburn City Council, held here at the council chambers today, Monday, 5 p.m., February 11th, 2019. We have the first note of business. It is snowing out again, and our city workers are out cleaning the streets as best they can to keep up with all the snow, and they're doing a very good job of it. So, good kudos to them. First off, can we have the approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting held February from last council meeting? What?
Your Worship, I'll make a motion that the minutes of the regular council meeting and the strategic planning and priorities meeting held on January 28th, 2019 be approved.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Call the question. All in favor? Carried. I should make note too, we have today we have Ethan Nelson. He is our member at the Youth Council attending here today. So welcome and thank you for joining in today. Additions to the agenda, Mr. Warren?
None from administration, Your Worship.
Any from other members of council? If there's nothing more, moving forward, the public hearings and notices, there are none. Delegations, proclamations, and petitions, there are none. There are no reports of standing committees. Consent agenda, we have the water treatment plant report. Nader, if you would, please.
Under the Water Works and Sewage Work Regulation, every permittee of water works shall review the records and logs kept pursuant to Section 40 on monthly basis to ensure the operation parameter and water quality parameters are being achieved. Overall, all bacterial sampling is not detectable. The quarterly water sample was sent to the lab. We have ongoing 2 projects right now in the water treatment plant. One of them is a reservoir expansion project, and it is supposed to wrap up some by mid-March. And upgrades for filtration system for plant 200, which is going right now. The water plant is running on a manual mode right now. As while we are doing the upgrades, we are replacing lots of electrical component, which making things harder for the staff to maintain automatically. Nickel Lake level is dropped to 53 centimeters below the full level, which is normal at this time of the year.
Any questions?
I'd like to make a motion that the consent agenda consisting of the water treatment plant report for January 2019 and the utilities report for December 2018 be accepted as presented.
We'll have the utilities report.
Okay.
First. Matthew, if you would, the utilities report.
Yes, Your Worship. So attached in your agenda is the utilities report. So the total utilities up till December 31st of 2018 was $109,186.76.
Okay, I'll try this again.
Okay.
I'd like to make the motion that the consent agenda consisting of the water treatment plant report for January 2019 and the utilities report for December 2018 be accepted as presented.
I'll second that motion, Your Worship.
Any questions? Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Moving forward, we go forward to motions. Accounts payable, if you would.
Your Worship, I'll make a motion that the purchases in the amount of $2,678,476.68 from January 25th to February 7, 2019 be passed for payment. The purchases include quick pays totaling $1,065,099.87 and accounts payable totaling $952,164.68.
I'll second that, Your Worship.
Any discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor? Carried unanimously. The fleet tender. Nader, if you would, please.
In the 2019 fleet service budget, it contains 4 light-duty vehicles, 2 crew cabs, 1-ton cab and a chassis to be equipped with a service body and welder, and SUV for the city for travel and general duty for the city hall staff. This tender was advertised in Sask Tenders website. In total, 3 bids were received from 3 local firms. After reviewing the bids submitted and after careful consideration about ability to meet the specification, performance, utility, and warranty, and the price, we are recommending that, based on the pricing that is presenting on the screen, that Great Plains Ford of Weyburn be awarded Part 1, Truck 1, Part 2, and Part 3 for tender prices detailed in the previous section, and Barber Motors out of Weyburn be awarded Part 1, Truck 2 at the tender price detailed in the previous section. Thanks.
Motion?
Thanks, Your Worship. I'll move that Part 1, Truck 1, Part 2, and Part 3 of the 2019 fleet tender be awarded to Great Plains Ford at the tender price of $155,000, and that Part 1, Truck 2 be awarded to Barber Motors at the tender price of $40,000.
Second?
Second that, Your Worship.
Discussion? This was how much under budget, Nader, roughly? About 46,000 under budget?
Partially, yes, 25. It is around $40,000 under budget. However, there will be some equipment for the welder truck. So we are anticipating 25 grand for doing just the chassis and, like, this welding machines or welding equipment.
Very good, but we're still way under budget on that. So that's very good to see. Good tenders.
I have a question, Your Worship.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nader, the trucks that we're replacing, some of them are 17 years old at least, eh? Some of them. That welding truck I know is 1986. That's as long as anyway. But the other ones we're not trading in. Do we have a sale coming up, or do we sell them privately, or what happens there?
There will be an auction coming, for some units, joint with the police department. And there is another option that we may put them in an online auction. This is being researched right now.
Also, the other vehicle that the city of Weyburn's getting for administration, we did take a vehicle away from them about 3 years ago, a half-ton truck, I believe. So we're just replacing that because we have additional staff coming up that need a vehicle. Is that the rationale behind that?
Absolutely right.
No further questions? Call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. There's no introduction of bylaws, no unfinished business. We're now on to new business, the employees' pension plan. Matthew, if you would, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. This report is provided by Director of Finance, Laura Massal. So it's in regards to a transfer from our current pension into a pension plan with MEPP. So state from Laura's report, it says back in March of 2016, City Council passed a resolution for all active members in the City of Weyburn defined benefit pension plan to move to Municipal Employees Pension Plan, which is MEPP, in the most fiscally responsible manner. So this transfer just happened this year, in January 1st of 2019. It was a part of our 2019 budget. So what Laura did, she went through a little bit of a timeline for staff to review and for council review of some things that happened. So this isn't something that just came up just recently. It's something that's been talked through by council back on October of 2007, the very first time we talked about this. So at that time, Aon representatives presented to council solvency deficiency status of the city's pension plan. At that time, deficiency payments were happening of $125,850 per year. Were needed to be made to make sure we have a solvent pension plan. So as we move forward, they actually said to wait till the next evaluation, which was in 2010, to do further considerations of what pension plan to look for and what we should do for further liabilities coming towards the city. So during the year of 2010, a lot of different options were talked about as a city council. and they went through a bunch of different things to see what they wanted to do moving forward. During that time, there's many talks happening between council members, with Aon, with Great West Life, to determine what's the best option to move forward. So through 2010, all the way till 2016, continued talks were happening about the pension plan, what was best for us moving forward as a city, and what was best for the community as large. So at that time, a motion was made back on March of 2016 to wind up the city pension plan and move all employees to the pensioners to the MEPP program. At that time, the approximate cost would be $9.5 million, which was the estimated cost back in 2016. So at that time, they felt it was the best option for the employees and the taxpayers, as there are sufficient funds in the reserves to make the transfer payment happen. So as we move forward, it was decided that effective on January 1st of 2019, that the city would move into the new MEPP program. So based on that, during the time, in an effort to reduce the ongoing concerns on liability to the city pension plan, the city has made deficit payments to the plan from 2010 till 2018, and that total was $3.6 million. If the plan continued to go into the deficit payments, we would have to increase the long-term payments, which would have cost the city more than just the transfer costs going to MEPP. So the city pension plan also paid approximately $120,000 per year in investment fees to Great West Life to administer the plan assets, which is not required if the move is to MEPP, which has occurred. So right now, as of December 31st of 2018, the city has the following members. So we have 104 active full-time members, that's active full-time staff within the city. We have 52 pensioners or survivors, and we have 9 deferred. So these are individuals who no longer are employed with the city of Weyburn, but still have a city pension plan. So what happened was Aon worked with MEPP, and they came through with a transfer amount for us. So this is how it was broke down by them. So transfer fee breakdown as of December 31st, 2018. So the net market value of assets. So the net market value of assets is as reported by Great West Life as of December 31st, 2018. So this is what our current pension plan is worth within the current plan, which is $22,991,211. So then they went through under provisions of going under MEPP, actuarial liabilities. So liabilities for active members would be $14,691,886. Deferred pensioners, so those 9 individuals we talked about, was $222,061. Pensioners and survivors would be $11,711,587. And then additional reserves for MEPP, so provisions for adverse deviations, so that's like 16.2%. So that's based on evaluation from December 31st of 2017. So that was for $4,206,085. And then total liabilities and reserves for MEPP would be $30,885,619. And then excess values, which is $599,851. So total liabilities, reserves, and excess values is $31,485,470. So the most unfunded liability right now that we have in the city is $8,494,259. So the transfer of the pension plan to MEPP was the best solution, which was decided as council with help through administration to secure retirement benefits of the city of Weyburn employees and alleviate the pension plan's funding challenges of the city's rate taxpayers. So when we go through it, the $8,494,259 would be coming out of a reserve fund. It wouldn't be coming out of the general tax base. Also, another key thing to look at what was being discussed through here is that our current deficit payments and paying for Great West Life, which was upwards of $500,000 a year, we're currently doing within our current budget. So one, we're moving away from a pension plan that is showing a loss and lost payments, and also we have reserves that are able to pay off the money for moving forward. Any questions?
Questions? Mr. Richards.
Thanks, Your Worship. Matthew, Manager Warren, I appreciate all of the detail and the amount of time this has taken. So over the years of having our very own pension plan here at the City of Weyburn, we've not only continued to make deficit payments, but we've accumulated an unfunded liability of about $8.5 million. So that is an onus on the taxpayer because that is actually who is responsible for that. Moving this plan to the Municipal Employees Pension Plan, MEPP, stops the increase in that deficit in its tracks, right? We will pay that out one time, and then that is done, and that won't continue to increase over time, right?
That's correct.
Do I understand that?
So two things, Councillor Richards. One is we won't be doing the deficit payments anymore, and two, we won't have to pay a third party to help administer our program. MEPP does it all in-house.
Right. Thank you.
Mr. Richards.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think when we started this many years ago, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Mal, you can help me out on this, we're talking maybe 10 million or more, 12 million at one time to pay out this. And I'm truly glad that council had the wisdom and courage, I'm going to put it that way, to make this thing happen. We talked about it in '07, and it's almost 10, 11 years to this point to get where we are. And that is a positive step for our employees and for the taxpayers of this city. And in saying that, I'm prepared to make a motion that the City of Weyburn pay a transfer fee of $8,494,259 to close the city pension plan and transfer all assets to MEPP.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion, Your Worship.
Discussion? I just wanted to make note that although it's moved over and it's $8.4 million has moved over onto that, we are saving on the other side over approximately $500,000 a year.
That's correct.
And out of our budgets, we'll have free up $500,000 a year. So we're not making this stuff, which will do well with what we're picking up. Plus onto what the government is going to be giving us extra. So we'll have at least almost close to $700,000 to $800,000 to use next year in our budgets. That's going to free up, which is going to be help substantially through what we're dealing with here.
Thank you, Your Worship. Following what Councillor Mickle said, personally, like I said, I've been involved in it since 2012, and I would like to commend previous staff, previous councils for starting this process. It's a long, hard process. It's very difficult to follow, understand. It's a big step for the City of Weyburn, but as we said, it removes a great liability for the city and a lot of risk for the city employees and pensioners because they know that their pension is secure now, where it's, instead of just 100 or 150 employees that are sharing all this risk, it's thousands of employees and a big organization. I know in the discussions that we had with council, this council and previous councils, one of the items that was critical was to make sure that there was no pensioner, deferred person, or active member that was going to be short on this new pension plan. And I think we made sure that every person that's involved in this plan is whole or better in this new plan. And I think that's very important. And that is certainly cost a little bit more money to do that, but that was critical to the thinking of council and administration. And I want to, again, commend them for carrying through with that.
Can I just add one more comment, Your Worship? Like I said, and again, I thank the administration in the past and administration of today. And by the way, Matthew, your presentation was excellent. It told us exactly what had happened, what is happening, and we move forward. City of Weyburn is very fortunate to have that money in a reserve account to do this. If we did not have that, our conversation, we wouldn't have this. We'd be at risk. And again, I thank the administration and previous councils for seeing the vision that we have to protect our employees and the citizens of this community.
No further discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. The next order of business, there is no, do we have any inquiries and announcements?
Your Worship, I just have one thing. The City of Weyburn Parks Board is currently looking to fill a couple of vacancies. So if anyone is interested in volunteering with very marginal time commitment, if you just go to our website and go to weyburn.ca/boards and committees and send in an application. Thank you.
Speaking of filling positions, are summer job postings being now posted for students and that?
Yes, Your Worship. So all of our job postings are on our city website under employment opportunities. So we have both summer employment opportunities and other employment opportunities. So we're looking for people in public works within our museum system. So for Sioux Line and for Heritage Village, looking for people as lifeguards, cashiers, people at the water treatment plant. There's lots of different positions we have for summer. So go out to careers and there's lots of opportunities there.
Any other announcements? Nothing else? There's no notice of motions, and with that, we shall call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.